Hey, girl. Hey, dear listener.
Oh my gosh, our it seems like our dear Miss Mims has been replaced by Broadway legend Harvey Firestein.
Hi,
Thank you,
everybody. I
Harvey.
can't do a Harvey impersonation,
Thanks for
girl.
joining. Thanks for joining us today,
Girl,
Harvey.
why'd you have to Harvey Firestein? I can't. Like, it's Harvey Firestein. Is this better?
That's pretty close.
Oh, great.
Thank you, Harvey. I loved you in Hairspray. I loved you in. Sorry.
It was a schlep. It was a schlep. I don't even know. It feels like he would say that about all of his roles. It was a schlep.
I'd love to know what your thoughts are about Nina West taking over.
She
your
was
role.
a schlep.
How did you feel about being Robin Williams' brother in Mrs. Doubtfire?
He's a schlep. Dear listeners, if you can't tell, I've had a little bit of a cold. We did a recording with the Debatable podcast. Thank you, Debatable, for having
Thanks,
us
Debatable.
and their T13 Media. Thank y'all. And ever since then, I thought it was some. Dear listeners, I used some setting powder. It was just chit-chatting with Maim while I was getting ready. So I thought I'd gotten some setting powder set in the wrong places. But, dear listeners, it turned out just to be bronchitis.
There you go. Ain't nobody got time for that.
And it ain't acute, let me just tell you.
Oh, no. Oh, my God.
I still got the jokes, y'all.
You still got it.
So
Ooh.
those of you that listen to both podcasts, I do apologize for us not having one last week. I sounded worse than what I sound now, which is not good, mind you.
No, it's not. It's not at all. Yeah, so if you're any of our cross listeners that also listen to You Slay Me, we apologize. We apologize.
It's too late to apologize. It's also too late to re-apologize. Which I love that song. I don't know what you talk about.
I mean, if we're gonna start going like backwards and forwards with songs, like Kylie is the one that says it's never too late.
Oh, but it's too late, baby. It's too late.
Now this has gotten to be too much of something.
It's true.
Bad enough.
It's true.
I need someone to.
So, babe, let's stop this now. How are you?
Right now I'm pretty good. I'm a little on edge.
No!
Following recording, we have house guests coming for a little bit.
Oh my!
So we have to get the house spotless, except for my sewing room.
Hold on just a second. I need to yell for some throat lozenges. Some throat lozenges.
Chamomile.
No, some throat lozenges. So if you will entertain our dear listeners for 3 seconds while I yell at Mr. Mims to come and bring me some.
So dear listeners, we are in the midst of doing some special stuff. Mims is going to talk a little bit about it later. I'm going to talk a little bit about my anxiety. So you have a little bit of a social anxiety / things like that. So sometimes it kicks in at the wrong time, normally when people are coming over to my house. And so I get a little bit anxious. Not the most fun person to be around, but I try to mitigate that by shutting myself off in the sewing room for long periods of time so I can get back to normal again. Speaking of getting back to normal again, we will be resuming our regular recordings this week. So we will be doing doing this one that you guys are hearing now. We'll make sure to get our second one in this week as well. So you're having your back-to-back showdown of Designing Women and You Slay Me. So don't worry, we are back on track, Jack. And
don't you turn back no more.
Nope, hit the road. Go.
So what I missed? What did you say? Give me the quick.
I was just talking to them about my crippling anxiety.
Oh.
My crippling social
anxiety. Good. Maim, speaking of crippling social anxiety, did you know we have a Patreon?
Shut up. What?
We do. Dear listeners.
If
you would like to support us you can go to, excuse me,
oh boy, this will be fun.
patreon.com/MimsMaim and throw some money. We have a new Patreon.
We have a second patron.
We do have a second patron. Deana Ferreri.
Thank you, Deana.
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 Thanks, Deana.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's very nice, and
it's super nice. We appreciate it because literally we're just being stupid people. We're just
dear
being
listeners,
idiots.
all of our new patrons, they will get us to review in full drag. We used to call it geish before that was turned out to be racist.
So many things.
But in full drag, we will sit there and review one episode of whatever you want us to.
Yes.
Let's make an hour long, like 1 hour long TV show. I'm not gonna say because up to an hour long. Like if they want us to review,
if it's like I mean, because everybody just about has like a show where there's like a specific episode that they absolutely love. Everybody's got that. And
I just want to clarify. It's a TV or hate. I just want to clarify that it was a TV show, not a like. I don't want to watch the North and South.
Oh no!
Miniseries.
No. If we do that, it'll be like a fashion review. We'll just go over the outfits.
Yeah. And we'll sit there and watch it on and like talk about it as we're watching it, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Could you imagine a Danielle Steele novel? Oh. Bitch.
Oh.
Bitch.
Oh my God! Somebody should recommend Star, please. Danielle Steele Star, please.
What is Danielle Steele Star?
Oh, it was a hot mess. Or something by Jackie Collins.
Oh no. So, Maim, have you been watching? Did you watch this most recent episode of Drag Race?
The double elimination. Because RuPaul is contractually obligated to not go over certain number of episodes despite what might happen on the show.
So Maddie Morphosis tweeted, "It's going to be so sad for the season 15 queens when there's still 5 people left in season 14 when they get there."
Yeah,
I was a little proud of that.
That's perfect. Oh, that's quite good, actually. So,
I'm just going to say, so far we're right about who's going to be in the final 4.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I
just don't know if the 4th is going to be Angie or if it's going to be Daya.
I feel like I feel like it's going to be Daya.
I do too.
But because I think that of all of the girls, now I will say this, right? Of all the girls that are there, I know that I am not a big fan of Daya Betty. I know that. But of all the girls there, she's the one to me that is really fighting. Like she is. Yes. She's hungry to get in that final 4. And so Angeria, she is, it's not that she's not hungry, but she is like such a pro that like she doesn't, I don't even think that she's even entertained the notion of not making it to the final 4. Like to her, it's, you know, just like this week, she was telling those jokes like they were AAA comedy and they were not. But to her, like, I'm the funniest person on this show. So yeah, it's gonna be tight.
I mean, I will say Daya lip synced the house down the boots.
I told my husband, I was like, I know you don't like her, but I cannot pretend that didn't just happen. She lip synced that song to perfection.
I mean, I saw it and I was like, excuse me, it's Daya. Like in the first 2 seconds, I was like, it's Daya.
Oh yeah,
there's no Georgia is trying to dance.
It was her. She immediately, like, you saw her, like, her facial expression shifted a bit. Her posture shifted. I was like, oh, she's going to win this. Poor Georges. I mean, that girl, she looked, to be honest with you, you probably saw it too. She looked tired. Like, she looked just like, I'm so tired.
Mr. Mims pointed out that Daya is probably the only one that's ever been angry before. So,
She
Speaking
lives
of
on the
angry,
planet of
Maim,
anger.
did you know we have
Yes.
two other or do we have another podcast?
The vestigial podcast is still lingering on your conscience.
It is. I deleted one of our podcasts. I deleted Mims and Maim, the Rue, whatever it was when we reviewed
That weird one off that we did.
That one off. I was like, this thing still gets listens. Let me kill it. Let me just take it to the grave right now.
People were still listening to it?
Like, they probably think it's a new. We're reviewing current episodes. So
I think what we'll do is, though, right? Because if people were listening to that, I'm just saying, if people were listening to that, maybe when season 15 starts, we might actually do that.
Girl, people who need people is a lot. I'm talking like a person every 3 weeks was listening to it.
Oh, that's not people.
No. That's a person every 3 weeks.
Although I do think we could possibly get some good listeners.
Yeah, that's
off
effort.
Of it. Even if we did like a shorter one, like a 30-minute podcast.
We can't. We've tried. We physically cannot.
Wait. If it's a subject matter that we like, we can do it. The problem was that last subject matter was so awful that we could not do
I
it.
guess I could set a timer, 3 10-minute timers, and we could just go.
Yeah.
And just like, and whenever it goes off, we just automatically switch.
Yeah.
I mean, God, how bad would that be? It sounds great. Anyway, You Slay Me, our other podcast.
Yes.
It's a Murder, She Wrote podcast, Maim. It's a Murder, She Wrote podcast. If we ever record it again, it's a Murder, She Wrote podcast. Don't worry, we're doing it this week.
I want to. Okay, so it's gonna sound controversial.
Brave or just controversial?
Just controversial.
Okay.
I was thinking it would be cool
Don't
if
do that.
maybe. Well, I can't help that sometimes. If we did occasionally bonus episodes inside of there of other mystery things, like, you know, kind of like the new Hercule Poirot
Girl,
movie,
I
things like
know that you watch a lot of Columbo and you watch a lot of these mystery things. I don't like them. Like, there are very few I like. Like, I don't mind Columbo. But a lot of these things are trash and boring. And just because you watch them whenever you so does not mean I want to watch them twice. But yes, I will do it every once in a while.
But some of them I watch into like this weekend I watched Death on the Nile. It was amazing. It was so good. I love these new Hercule Poirot movies so very much.
But those
so
are
good.
movies, girl. Those are movies.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll do it.
Oh my god. Have you watched it, by the way?
No.
Okay, you do need to watch that. You particularly need to watch this one because there's a couple of fun like winks to our particular population that you'll love. So I'm just gonna say that. That's all I'm gonna say. It was so very good.
Have you
But I
ever
love
seen Zorro
mystery.
Gay Blade?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. Speaking of winks to our population.
The thing that's fun though about this is like I was watching it on what's today? Sunday? Yesterday. You know me. I mean, you remember me from being like, for growing up, like I used to read these books. I used to like write. So I know these characters. As I was watching this movie, because it's been a long time since I really dove into Agatha Christie again. As I was watching the movie, I was like, I started feeling gaslit because I was sitting there like, where did this come from? Was this a book I missed? And then I found out after the movie that they basically that they're starting to like, unlike Orient Express.
Yeah.
Now they're just starting with the basics of the story and they're doing what they want. So they're basically inventing new stories. And so by the time, so like I remember Death on the Nile, and like after the first murder, the very first murder, I was sitting there like, I don't remember this person dying. I don't remember. This wasn't the death on the thing. So they're just taking the premise of them now, and Kenneth Branagh's just like, yeah, let's do this. Like, so I was reading a cool article that they may actually be making like a Christie universe of movies.
Have you been watching? Have you watched any of Our Flag Means Death?
Yes.
I'm just 2 episodes in. It's fantastic.
Yes. It's so good.
And and you have been watching, dear listeners. Even if you do not like anime, I suggest you watch this cartoon. It is 25 minutes long. It is the saddest, sweetest cartoon I've ever seen. It's called Kotaro Lives Alone. It's about a little child who's 5 years old who moves into an apartment complex with a down on his luck manga artist, a hostess girl, and someone who's in the Yakuza. It's fantastic. Is it not fantastic?
Yeah. No, it is fantastic. I haven't cried this much. The last time I cried this much during an anime was I don't know if you ever watched the anime Honey and Clover.
No.
That one caused me. I literally heaped sobs at one point because it got to this thing and I was just like, I didn't know anime could make me do this, and I was losing my mind.
Well, Maim, we are now 15 minutes into this.
Oh gosh, we've been talking.
Yeah, we've been talking for a bit. Shall we get into this episode?
How great thou art!
Is that a yes?
How great thou art!
Is that a yes?
Yeah. Then sings my soul.
This is season 2, episode 20. How great thou art!
I'm Julia Sugarbakers. I'm Julia Sugarbakers. I'm Julia Sugarbakers. I'm Julia Sugarbakers. And that's Marjorie. Just so you will know, and your children will someday know, is the night the light went out in Georgia. The light went out, the light went out, the light went out, the light went out. And that is the night the light went out in Georgia.
I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Well, now you do.
So we're at Sugarbakers. We're at Sugarbakers.
My mom used to hate when I did that.
Well, okay. I was going to save this for later, but just as an aside, Catholics don't sing that song. Like, period.
It is a huge Protestant song.
I know
huge.
It is. I know y'all are all about how great he is and how women are nothing.
Man.
So, which is this episode.
Great.
So we're I mean, you know, we got our issues with women and young boys. Don't get me wrong. We got some issues in our church. But Mr. Mims was like, "What is this song?" I was like, "You've never heard How Great Thou Art?" He's like, "No, what is this?" I'm like, "It's Protestant. Just don't worry about it."
It's Protestant. Don't worry about it. Just keep it out. Just keep it out.
Just yeah. It was written by a Swede. Did you know that? I did a little research on it.
I didn't know that about it.
It was written by a Swede. It was translated. It took a while to be translated to English. So,
well, you know, I mean, it makes sense. Right?
And I looked up. I tried to look up when it actually started hitting the Catholic hymnals.
Yeah.
It started in like the 50s. Like, this is an 1800 song. It started in like the 50s and didn't actually really hit the hymnals, the Catholic hymnals, till 1994.
I love that it's like we're talking about it like it's on like the Hot 100. You're like, it didn't hit the 50s charts until
Speaking of that, speaking of the Hot 100s,
charts.
Have you heard the revised Amazing Grace that they moved to 4/4 time?
No.
Oh, it's they've added verses. They've like they played it at my grandmother dad's mom's funeral.
Gotcha.
And it was just for the testimonials. Dear Lord, I had not gone to a Protestant funeral in forever, and then there were testimonials. Anyway, we don't do that in the Catholic Church. We say a quick thing, have a mass, get the hell out, and go to the grave. Anyway, they played this version of Amazing Grace. Dear listeners, if you love this version of Amazing Grace, I'm sorry for shitting on it, but it lost its soul. Like, it went 4/4 time and was like, what's going on? I don't know what's going on anymore.
Papa, what these white people doing? What is happening right now? Where am I?
Literally. Anyway, we're at Sugarbakers. And Bernice is trying to pick out some new upholstery.
Yes, but she's not sure why.
It's the first she's heard about it.
She told Anthony, "I need to pick out some reupholstering material for my couch."
Yes.
She forgot.
Her and Maryjo are going over the colors, and she's like, "Do you not like the?" Bernice to Maryjo, "Do you not like the color of my couch?" Like,
that lady's deliveries are perfect.
She has an arterial flow problem. That's what Perky used to say. A little bit of an arterial flow problem.
Above the neck.
And she really misses Perky. Perky's still in Japan.
Come back, Perky. Come back, please.
We're never going to see Perky again, are we?
No, I don't think we actually do.
Well, Maryjo didn't realize just how lonely Bernice was, so they're all going to go out to dinner. They're going to get Thai food as long as Bernice does not have to wear a costume.
A native
A
costume.
native costume. My smoothie. We find out that Julia and Charlene are at a multi-denominational religious conference.
Yes.
I have a minister's daughter friend of mine from high school. You know her as well. And they used to go to other denominations in Statesville and worship with them. Did you know that? Like there's a multi-denominational thing. They're really good friends with my priest. He was really good friends with my priest.
Aww.
Yeah,
nice.
like they would like the priest wasn't the one that had the issue. There were some other more.
I mean, we didn't do that at our church, but that's because we had a church that didn't really want us to visit that many places and see anything beyond what was happening inside our church.
Because then you find out that just how corrupt they were. Is that the thing? that normally they don't get more than one building built a year. Normally they don't get to buy the parsonage. Oh, sorry, given the parsonage. Things like that, dear.
Just little stuff like that.
Normally the ministers rotate to prevent wealth from accumulating. That
That stuff. Yeah.
I've got a question. Were they Baptist?
Yeah, that's what we were.
Okay.
Missionary Baptist. That's what my church was, a Missionary Baptist church.
Oh, yeah, because if they were AME Zion, you wouldn't have this problem because they rotate. So
that was my cousin's church. See, you had it right. You remember that was my cousin's church. That was, the one named after the car. That was my cousin's church. So, I mean,
Chevrolet Maim.
You knew exactly who I was talking about.
Chevrolet Maim.
Yeah, Chevrolet, honey. Chevrolet. My cousin Chevrolet. Mm-hmm. She got the what do you call it? Got the trunk in the back.
She's got her children, Corvette and Camaro.
That's right, and Mustang.
He's hard to control.
He is, girl. Lord Jesus, he.
Well, Charlene's here now that we've talked about your family a hot second. She's
Charlene
upset.
looks really hurt. She looks really hurt.
She's upset. Her minister, they had a referendum.
Not a referendum.
About
be
whether
careful.
women...
Be careful about religious referendums. Please be careful.
You know what? As a German, I can honestly say, be careful about religious referendums. You do not know where they're going to go, but it's usually not the way anybody wants.
Not usually a good direction.
So we find out that her Reverend Nunn, said no to women ministers.
What a dick.
Yeah, and Anthony's like, I thought the Southern Baptists were already against this. Like, what's the big deal here?
Well, for Charlene, it's because she had never on record known that her minister in particular was against it.
I would just like to say
the glasses came off.
Dear listeners, I hope I don't offend any of you. I have had issues with the Southern Baptist Convention for my entire life. Having been told that I'm going to hell because I'm Catholic, having been told I'm going to hell because I'm gay, it's not been a good time for me in the Baptists, let me just tell you.
You two are not buddies.
We're not buddies. Like, at least the Catholic Church is like, you're going to hell. We love you. You're going to hell. I was told by a Southern Baptist, well, you're going to hell. I love you. You can't be around my children. I'm like, what? I've seen the way you parent, and you shouldn't be around your children either.
Dang. Shots fired.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna hope they have a wafers handy to read.
Girl, Southern Baptists don't use wafers. Catholics do. No, do you know what the Southern Baptists in Statesville used to use for communion?
Crackers?
No, girl. No, what? Quincy's. They go get Quincy's yeast rolls and buy the place out.
They did not.
They did too.
Oh my God.
Western Avenue used to do that, and I called them out right there.
You call him out. Not with the nose blown right after, too.
I do apologize to you and yours.
That was perfectly timed.
And I had somebody, look, dear listeners, I'm a scientist by trade. I had somebody who Southern Baptist say, Darwin didn't even believe in evolution when he died. And I looked at them and said, Darwin was a minister and he sure as hell did. So you don't know what the hell you're talking about. He was a minister. Yes, Episcopalian. You know what that is? It's not Baptist. So I will now take a step back. Breathe.
Take a step back. Miss Mims dash sugar baker.
Better. Julia's despondent. Like
Julia is. This is I realize that this is her acting in silence, but this was like some of her best like physical sort of like stuff because she looks almost like ghostly. She's so pale.
We find out that she was named to sing the solo. They really don't explain this as solo, right? They say she's going to be with all the best singers and the Philharmonic, but they don't ever say solo.
No, they do. They say solo, but we're gonna get to that later because for one of the two of us is a performer, and when I saw the setting, I was like, what? Why were you so upset? Right, but we'll get to that later.
She's going to sing "How Great Thou Art." How great thou art.
How great thou art. Gosh, my mom used to hate when I did.
She's probably hating it right now, girl.
I remember because you remember like in our hometown they had like that the white Christian radio station, and like all of the songs, everybody had that ridiculous vibrato all the time. So I started just doing it around the house. And she would get so mad at me every single song.
Girl, do you remember how they used to play that weird-ass church from Hickory on the cable channel with the old people with the mandolin and the... Oh, God. With that 828 number, you call right now and give them a little money.
Oh, this whole episode is triggering so many memories for us.
Well, Julia does not want to do it. She's scared of everything, and especially the arrangement, because it is the highest note she's ever heard in her life.
Which, for a person who has had to audition for things, usually they don't give you the part unless they know that you can sing it. So I'm kind of confused about that.
Well, they must have heard her sing that that in that 50s episode, and like there'll be bluebirds so far.
Are you intentionally trying to sound like Tiny Tim?
Yes.
Okay, thank God. I was like,
the tulips by the window.
No, I'm glad, because literally I was just like,
yes,
wait.
I spent years practicing how to do that. And like it's not a talent I wish I had.
If only you have spent the years doing like practicing for your Fiddler on the
Drag.
Roof
Oh,
character.
what we don't fit. Girl, I'm still mad at him. I will be bitter about that until I die. All I had to do was watch the damn movie. I still haven't seen the movie. It's Academy Award winning movie. I've never seen it.
Wow. That's
Little dumb. All day long I'd bitty bum if I were a wealthy man. Huh. Wouldn't have to work hard. Loudy. If I were a bitty rich. Yeah, sorry, I do apologize for that.
We're
I
getting
could have been
sued.
Tevye.
We're getting sued. Thanks for that. I didn't want to pay.
I could have probably acted more like Tevye than he did.
Totally getting sued.
What'd you say?
I said, now we're getting sued.
Oh, yeah, probably. Well, Bernice wants to go see this.
Yes.
And then she's like, Julia's like, I'm going to be sick. And then she's like, well, you'll probably make the news. And Bernice's like, well, if she's going to be sick on the news, why don't I just stay home and watch it there?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was appropriate. I thought so too.
We find out that Charlene is having dinner at her apartment. And she's going to, because she wants to convince Reverend Nunn that he should change his ways, which I've learned anytime you talk to a Baptist minister, that's not how you do that. It's usually by putting a real pretty woman in front of them. You're just going to let that go.
I'm just going to leave it alone.
You're just going to let that go. Hey, I got a joke for you. This is a little bit of I probably should tell the joke.
Oh, no.
Why don't Baptists have sex standing up?
Why?
People think they're dancing. Anyway.
It's
Y'all,
so true.
the Southern Baptist Convention has really... I blame them for a lot that's wrong in this world right now. I honest to God do.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Like,
so
a lot of the hate is from evangelical mischaracterization of the world, and the Southern Baptist Convention in the 90s had a lot to do with it. Just laying that flat out for
Dear
everybody.
listeners, just in case you weren't aware, Mims and I were queer teenagers in the 90s in the Deep South.
Maim, I do have a question about all this. Charlene's a Presbyterian. We learned that in a past episode.
I know, but remember, sometimes those things don't matter in these episodes.
It's true. Anyway, Bernice is inviting herself to Charlene's. And she also thinks it's silly that he thinks women can't be singers.
Yes. She missed that step completely.
So now we're at Charlene's new apartment.
Yeah.
It's completely different than what it was before.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that happens, right?
I mean, the door isn't on the right anymore. It's on the left. There's no seating the way it used to be. It's completely different. It actually looks like one of those throwaway sets that are used for porn.
Maybe it was.
Oh my God, if they were doing porn on the CBS lot, that's fantastic.
I mean, it might have, think about it, right? It might have been based on that stuff. That the what do you call it? The rentals, right? I mean, a lot of those things were based on rented sound stages, so
true.
You never know.
So Charlene's trying to keep Bernice away from Reverend Nunn. She's in there doing the dishes.
They're making her do everything.
Maryjo's like, what are you doing? Well, Bernice comes out of that kitchen, sits down, and goes to a scripture war with the Reverend.
And full-on scripture war.
Yes. As a Catholic, I don't know the scripture. That is not... Dear listeners, for those of you that have never been to a Catholic church, okay, we have this thing called a missal, okay? And what a missal is...
How do you spell that?
M-I-S-S-E-L? M-I-S-S-E-L? I don't remember.
Okay.
Anyway.
I was like, is it spelled like the other kind of missile?
So
Or
what is
different?
it's a pamphlet. They rotate through the Bible every 3 years, A, B, and C.
Okay.
And what you do is you have piece of the Old Testament, piece of the prophecy, piece of the New Testament.
Okay.
So you get the whole Bible in 3 years. We have these 3 set things. Going back and forth throughout the Bible. Got these 3 things you talk about each week.
Okay.
It's very efficient. It works. And it means I don't have to memorize scripture. Because I've heard the whole Bible at least 5 times in my life. Have I read it all? No. But I've heard it all. Oh, there's a psalm in there too. There's peace, prophecy, and psalm. We do psalms. Yeah. Even the cursing psalms are in there. You know, the one like, I hope you get that bloody eye and the blah, blah. We read that stuff too.
The audience is getting like such a deeper part of our background than they ever thought they would get.
I know, right? So with that said, I could never go to scripture war. That is not something I could do. Because, yeah. So Bernice wins it, right?
She wins it hands down.
And she's like, I feel like all my circuits are cooking. And then she's like, and King James was a male chauvinist.
Which was true.
And
homosexual.
And homosexual, yeah. And she's like, she even looks at the reverend's like, I hope that's not the look of bemused condescension on your face.
I love that line
I love that line so much. I do too.
That's the kind of thing that if I said that in church, I'd get slapped.
I mean, yes.
Yes. Oh.
So were your deacons corrupt too, or just the minister?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think that, my church was such a I don't think they were. I just think that, we grew up in because our world were 2 very different worlds, but I grew up in such a super working class black church. So I don't even think a lot of them were that business savvy to think anything, right? But they weren't business savvy. They weren't super they were overly trusting. They were overly willing to think that this is how things work, right? And so I don't even think that there was one though that was he kind of caught on because he actually was a business owner and he caught on. That didn't go well. That didn't go well at all.
So the black family in Statesville that was trying to
make it in the country club.
What'd you say?
Make it into the country club.
Make it the country club. Which church did they go to?
I was never sure. I know that during the descent of grace, I know that the father started going to the church of one of our other friends' fathers.
Fathers?
Yeah. Remember, we had friends that had fathers that were preachers.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was a friend or an enemy.
Well, he used to be friends.
Okay. Gotcha.
I had so much backstory.
Go on, girl.
So I know that they went there after that, but I don't know I don't know where they went early. We were really young. We didn't talk about stuff like that back then. Now, though, as adults, as adults with adult thoughts.
So Charlene's like, I just can't believe you think women can't be ministers when all of our role models are women, right? And Suzanne chimes in about, and your last name's Nunn.
Which I loved it so much. It was such a stupid add-in to this conversation.
So as Mr. Nunn's leaving, Bernice is like, I just have one thing to say. Women were there when all the men went home. The women stayed with the body and were the first when Jesus came back to say, hey, he's back.
Yep.
I mean,
I mean, Bernice had herself a little This was a little sermonette from Bernice.
Yes, she was. Yeah.
I was like, you go, Bernice.
Which means, oh my God, I've got another one of these halls. Which means that she is definitely Halls. It's Halls Soothe Honey, not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
They don't
Not
taste
yet.
the best job, but they work. So
Heard that
definitely not
before.
sponsored.
Heard that before.
Hey. Anyway, we're back at Sugar Bakers.
Sugar Baker.
And they're all getting ready to go. It's later. They're getting ready to go see the Julia sing.
Mm-hmm.
And Suzanne tells this lovely story about how she doesn't understand when Julia's so upset. Because
By the way, this is like Suzanne's first actual
Yeah.
speaking under that one little part. This is the first she talked.
oh, this is a throwaway episode. There's only 2 more left in the season.
I know.
So she tells a story of how when she was a beauty queen, she used to look in the mirror and say, "Of course I'm going to win. They're all dogs." As the other contestants would go up, she would call them a dog under their breath, and if they win, she'd call them a dog straight to their face.
Yes.
Well, maybe not straight to the face, but through a window, like as they're driving away.
As they're driving away.
So Anthony, Maryjo, and Suzanne leave. Charlene's going to go run an errand.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she goes to Reverend Nunn's office.
Oh boy.
A single woman should never go into a minister's office alone at night.
No. Think of what the congregation would say.
Think of what the Reverend's going to do. Anyway, he's concerned about her. And then I like this line, because she listens to him. Yeah,
It's an interesting thing, right? Because it's funny. I've heard other ministers make those types of comments. And it's like, why, if you know these things about your congregation,
Yeah.
shouldn't you make changes to it?
Yes.
But I guess not.
And the minister's like, just because we have a difference of opinion on one issue, and Charlie's like, hold up, no. It is
She
not just
did.
one issue. This is a whole way of thinking about half the world's population. And I want to be a minister because when I was young, I got a Bible with this gold, my name written in gold on it, and a real white Jesus on a bookmark.
I had one of those Bibles with my name engraved on it.
Was it a white Jesus bookmark or was it a black Jesus bookmark?
It didn't have pictures at all. My parents weren't into that for me.
My first Bible was a Precious Moments Bible.
Oh, I'm jealous.
It was hard to find a Catholic Bible.
I can only imagine.
Dear listeners, we have a couple extra books in our Bible that when they printed the first Bible, or not the first Bible, but later on when they began printing Protestant Bibles a little bit more often, John Calvin just threw out a couple of books because he didn't think they were important. True story. They aren't. They're just short, stupid little stories. But that's why there's a Protestant Bible and a Catholic Bible. Because of money. It's too expensive to print.
Yes, yeah, and it's always about the money.
Penny.
Now you can get one at the dollar store.
You can just get one free if you go into any hotel anywhere.
That's right, girl, from the Gideons. Henny,
Do you remember when they used to come on our school and give out
yes.
Bibles?
Oh, yes. I do.
How illegal was that? My God.
That's the South.
Also, do you realize how liberal our school was that we didn't have to do the Pledge of Allegiance but 1 year?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And our teachers were like, sigh, get up and do the Pledge of Allegiance.
They was eye roll.
Yeah.
Bless you, East. Bless you.
What was this dichotomy we were living in?
That's why anytime we interacted with county kids, we were always kind of okay.
Yeah.
You guys are a bit different than us.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So we find out that Charlene actually wanted to be a saint, but she like decided she couldn't, so she didn't become minister. Yeah. And then it's like, half the people in the world aren't going to be ministering. What possible reason does God have not to want that? And he's like, it is not our job to question God's wisdom. She's like, I'm not questioning God's wisdom. I'm questioning yours. Bye, bish. I'm leaving this church.
Oh, I would have loved for it to have ended like that. That would have been the best ending altogether. Not even the song. Just that
just
part
bye,
alone.
bitch. I'm leaving your church. End. So now we're at Sugarbakers. Charlene left her purse there. Julia's like, I can't do this. And Charlene, and I love what I wrote in my notes here. Bitch, I just left my church. Yes, you can.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
And then Julia, is there anything I could do? Charlene, sing the damn song. You're my hero.
When she said that, I got kind of like a little teary-eyed, right?
It's true.
I mean, this is one of those episodes, and we'll have a few of these episodes. This is one of those episodes where you're like, this lady's going to go on to do some different things with her career. Like, you could tell.
Yes.
Like, every once in a while, there'll be one of those Charlene episodes that's like, ooh, you're a different caliber of actress underneath this bubbly person.
And she's like, I want you to do it for the girls. Not us. All of them.
Yeah.
And she's like, God got you. Julia's like, okay, guess I'll do it.
I've not heard somebody say that.
So then we sit through all the verse of How Great Thou Art.
Hold on.
What?
Let's just take a moment. Okay.
Okay.
So we done spent this whole episode thinking that this was going to be some sort of grand, epic event with like the Atlanta Philharmonic and all of these things. And the budget said no. And so what we actually get is a church that on the inside is not, I can say very clearly about Protestant churches, this is not even that big a church.
Girl, it's smaller than my church when they actually built the church.
Right.
Because we had that record
church
that we used forever that they built the church. Yeah.
My mother's little country church right now in the middle of Iredell County, it's like 4 times the size of this church, and it's considered small still. So not only that, but they only got 2 ministers sitting there. And they made it sound like all hundreds of ministers came for this thing. And this is supposed to be the closing ceremonies, and you got 2 of them sitting in the pulpit. Come on, y'all. You can't set up people that actually know this world. You can't set it up like this and then do this, because people that know this world are like, I mean, think about that Martin Luther King banquet I used to go to every year.
Oh, Lord.
Right? With like 5,000 people all there. Like, sure, I'd be nervous there, but this, come on.
Well, it was also televised. Here, let's think about it this way. Maybe it was televised to people out in the convention center.
Did you see a camera?
I don't know, but they sure as hell paid Hal Holbrook to be there.
Yes, they did, and gave him some fake tears.
I know, Reese was sitting there crying, watching his lady. Oh, God.
I was like, why is he crying? He's like, is he just moved? Is it just like, what is it exactly?
So I did a little bit of research. Apparently, the 50s one, and when she sings Ave Maria a little bit later, somebody gave Dixie Carter a record. Like after this, she got to do, not this one, the one later on, like later season. They gave, she's got like a hymn record.
I need to go on Discogs right now and find it and put it on my wall. Let me just do it right now. So I mean, I
great thou art.
Now I will say, right, it
Uh-huh.
was beautiful. It really was beautiful.
It was a Protestant hymn
It was a really
sung by white people.
It was a well done arrangement.
It was a white Protestant hymn.
Yep, I do. I think that was actually. Oh my God, there it is. So I do. I think it was. I think it was good. Oh no, it's not. I mean, nobody has a copy of this for sale.
It's on Spotify.
No, girl.
Okay.
Oh, don't worry. Don't think I'm not going to keep hunting this down.
Thank you,
after
ma'am.
this. Don't think that you know how I get.
Anyway, my one thing about this was it was 6 minutes of the song. Like
That's how long it was.
it was forever. It was like at least 5 minutes long.
That's how. I mean, as I was watching it, I was kind of like,
You
this
dazed
feels
out
like-
like you did in church. Do 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 do. Dear listeners, I just Maim is actually, you can hear her laughing, but she is now like fallen out nearly on her floor. Like I have injured her with my wit.
Oh no!
Maim, are you okay? Are you
I'm
back?
fine.
Hey, girl.
I feel terrible.
Maim, did you enjoy this episode?
I have mixed feelings about the episode. I obviously it's very ham-fisted, right? Like it's super, but I am always going to say I'm always going to give a like to any episode where we really get to see Charlene pulling out those acting chops. So I always going to say like for that. Yes. So I say like on that behalf. Everything else I'm just kind of like, bleh.
I felt very triggered by this episode.
Oh, girl.
If you couldn't tell,
Me too.
I felt a lot of my past coming up to. We had a friend that I believe you'd consider a friend now. They used to sit at the table behind us at lunch our senior year.
Okay.
And she used to talk about gay people. Like when we were in college, she used to talk about gay people to me and try to save me. And like even she's a missionary now, and I'm sure she's very happy. And I think she may have changed a few of her opinions over time. I'm not sure. But I hope. Or she's just accepted love the sinner, shut up about the sin.
Yeah,
That's
I think
fine.
that's probably closer to it.
You know,
for her.
I can, y'all, that is the best way to be. Love the sinner. Just shut up about the sin. It's our life. If you think it's sin, that's great. I don't.
I am looking forward to the
Next
new
season?
new podcast, the Divine Mims Ministry. I'm very excited. I will be the co-pastor of that. I guess you would call it like the lay clergy. Is that what they call it in the Catholic Church? Right? I'll be your assistant.
Yes.
So I still remember a little bit of Catholic from my dad. I'll just I'll be the one passing out the wine while we're all listening, and I'll make sure to have some Foley noises.
Girl, if
on
you
the
want to
end.
do that, I will sit there and talk about something for 10 minutes, and y'all can chit chat about it afterwards. And
I'll
see what we
get
believe
some
about.
organ arrangements to go play in.
Did you find yourself Miss Georgia World?
Yeah, actually, I really liked the dress / I guess it was like a suit that Julia was wearing at the dinner party with the little bow on there. I thought that was
Okay,
really cute.
okay.
It was I love a good monochromatic kind of look when there's a lot of stuff going on.
I really like the black dress coat thing with the scarf that she's wearing just before she goes to
Yeah,
goes to
that
sing.
was nice. Actually, no, I think I'm going to change mine to that one because that one was quite elegant.
It originally was going to be Charlene's like blue dress that was just like a blue sheath, but I liked the color so much.
No, it looks good on her.
It was,
yeah, but no, you're right. That coat was actually quite nice.
It really was. Dixie Carter could wear a damn coat.
Girl,
Am I wrong?
no, honey. She made coats. She makes coats like I'm like, "Well, girl, I need to start wearing a coat again, even though it's hot. I need to start wearing a coat again.
Well, girl, let me minimize this. See how long we've been talking for.
Too
Oh, we've only
long.
been talking for 54 minutes. And you say we can get through with something in 30 minutes. You say this.
We can't if we focus on it.
Can we focus?
If we focus
Can
on
we
it,
focus? Can we?
what you're saying? What?
Maim, why don't you tell our dear listeners where they can find you?
Yeah, totes. Hi, dear listeners. This is your Auntie Maim, aka your favorite relation. You can find me both online and in real life. So online, you can find me at Instagram and on Facebook at auntie.maim. That's MAIM. On Twitter, you can find me at the Maim Ministry. On TikTok, I'm not on TikTok. But in real life, because my life is not based on doing videos on TikTok. In real life, you can find me hosting a stand-up comedy show Tuesday nights at Lit in Fort Lauderdale. It's called Laughs at Lit. Every Tuesday night at 9, and then on Thursdays in Miami Beach, I host Amazing Colossal Karaoke, which is a very different way of doing karaoke because it's kind of a karaoke / cabaret show. And so we have a lot of good times there. You can hear me singing live and being silly and stuff. But we love having tourists. They're the best people to come through there. We enjoy them a lot. So that's where you can find me. Oh, also, I do improvised comedy at the Villain Theater in Miami, which you can find at villaintheater.com for tickets and information. And I think that's it. All right. How about you?
I'm the Divine Miss Mims. You can find me on Twitter at Divine Miss Mims. You can find this podcast on Twitter at Baking Sugar Pod. I'm holding back a cough right now. You can find our other podcast, You Slay Me, at You Slay Me Pod on Twitter. It's a Murder She Wrote podcast. Good Lord. We have a Patreon. Thanks, Deana.
Thank you, Deanna. Thanks, darling.
You can find it on patreon.com/MrMahaffey. Maim, do you have anything else to add?
Make sure to neuter your pets. Make sure to neuter your pets.
Happy Ramadan, everybody. Why don't you say goodnight, Maim?
Good night, Maim.
Bye, y'all.